own country for the security of our own country. The Kate Dalley Show starts now.
They have deliberately opened the border to fundamentally change the fabric of our country.
Now Americans across the country are bracing for the end of Title 42 as thousands of migrants wait along the Mexican side of the border.
Officials telling NBC News most migrants are now being released into the U.S.
It is becoming harder and harder not to conclude that the border crisis is intentional.
We have over 200,000 illegal aliens that have been flown in from their home country directly into the U.S.
Nearly 2,000 migrants were moved from Floyd Bennett Field to James Madison High School, forcing those students there to learn remotely yesterday.
I see towers here with cameras mounted. And how many of these do they have down the
A bunch of them.
frequency?
All over the place.
And do any of them work?
No.
When I'm president, instead of trying to send Texas a restraining order, I will send them reinforcements.
Hi there, welcome. Kate Dalley Show. I got Uncle Milty here. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
How are you on a Tuesday out there? We have several guests in our show today. A great show ahead. Lots of points to make. Lots of things to talk about. Something that we need to talk about that was written back in 1968. Talked about the border. We have a lot, okay? And so appreciate you listening in. KateDalleyRadio.com if you want to listen live. And, of course, we have our first guest, who is Chad Caton. How are you, Chad?
I am living the dream in sunny Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Thank you for having me, Miss Kate.
There
and
you go.
Uncle Milty, I appreciate it.
I love it. All right. So tell me this. You are a veteran, and this is Veterans for Trump. In fact, it's veteransfortrump.us. Tell me your take on what's going on right now, what you guys are doing, and a movie that's about to come out.
Yes, ma'am. I am the National Director of Veterans for Trump and Veterans for America First. Our organization has one goal, and that is to protect veterans. But on top of that, in order to be able to do that, we need to engage and we need to motivate our veterans that are out there that are becoming more and more angry with what's happening with the Biden regime and ultimately what's happening to the very country that many of us have fought to defend.
Well, yeah, amen to that. Tell us about this movie coming out.
Well, Veterans for Trump, we want to put out great movies of engagement and raw. That's our thing. I'm the assistant director on this particular film that's called Border Invasion: An American Crisis. It's going to drop in February. We're pretty sure we're finishing up some last edits. We were able to just get General Flynn in the film. Yesterday, I was in Florida filming him. And it's an exciting film because what we're able to do is we're able to show you the raw truth. We did everything from send our multiple presidents from different states, including border states, and some that aren't from border states. My part of the film, I took two congressional candidates and went down there with the guy that was the star of Cartel Land, and we hunted the cartel in the Badlands and actually caught two drug mules with fentanyl. It's raw. And it's going to really put the border and our current invasion under a microscope for everyone to utilize to engage with other people so that we can bring about real pressure to get Congress and the Senate to do their job.
You were also invited to Mar-a-Lago, yes?
I have been to Mar-a-Lago, the best steak I ever ate, and that's something coming from a Southern boy. But I am a steak guy. Yes, ma'am. There's no vegan in this household, I promise you.
I love it.
No, ma'am. But Mar-a-Lago is quite possibly one of the most beautiful places in the world. And what did the judge say it was worth? 180 million or something like that, or 18 million. That's right. He lost his mind. I'm no appraiser, but that place is absolutely gorgeous. And President Trump actually bought my breakfast. Really? It was very he's very at home there. It's interesting to see him where he lives and where he calls home.
Interesting. So tell me about the movie. Any ideas for coming from you guys, Veterans for Trump? What are some of the ideas? How to combat what's going on?
Sure, we're looking at it from a bunch of different perspectives. Who better than to talk about how to protect a border or a wall or a FOB, a forward operating base, than the ones that have done it? And as veterans, understanding the sovereignty of this country and how important that is, and to the point of just like you heard in Iraq, Fallujah, Afghanistan, those walls are important to keep bad people out. We've proven that there's bad people coming across that border, but for some reason, the Biden regime is doing it, and we have multiple reasons that we believe is true, but he's allowing this to happen. He is allowing for this invasion to happen, and we go down there and break it down as raw as we can with law enforcement. We have Victor Avella, who's running against Mr. Gonzalez, and he is actually his district is right there on the border. You know, and it's his story alone. And I don't know if you've heard, but him being shot and left for dead, he was on the Mexico side. His partner was killed when they got ran off the road by the Zetas. And come to find out, the boxes that he went to retrieve in Mexico wasn't witnesses or for a case. It was his old chief's stuff from his old apartment. They sent our people into that, and one died to go get somebody's tchotchkes from their house when they were stationed in Mexico.
Wow.
But when Mr. Victor tries to go get the information on that, you can't find any of it. The government's hiding it. We've got to stop with our government hiding everything and trying to keep it from us when we have the right to have it, especially in something egregious to what happened to Victor. And Victor's in the film, and we talk on all aspects of something even like that, where our Border Patrol, they're angry because they can't do their job. We talk to everybody, and we show real people, and we allow them to be as raw as necessary.
It's called Border Invasion, an American Crisis, right? In partnership with Salem Media. Okay. And so so as far as the states go, this seems to me to be a state issue now because the feds haven't done anything in the last 30 years. So are the states, what do you see happening on boots on the ground with the states? What are the states doing proactively? We've seen Texas in the news, but I've been wondering why they haven't really done more up till now. Why do you feel like it's now?
That's the question of the year. It's an election year, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
Abbott's rolling himself into a situation where he's looking like a hero all of a sudden when it's a little late. But I think the last count that they're estimating up to 10 million illegals have come across our border since the Biden regime began. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
And I mean, we've seen the viral video of the guy that has been outed as somebody that is a Muslim extremist that said, you're going to know who I am someday. And I mean, it's just egregious. And that's what veterans are sick of because, like I said, we've stood that wall. You may not wanted us to, but we've stood that wall. We've held a post. We know what it does, the importance of keeping our border or our walls and keeping the bad guys out. They're seeing it happen. And, you know, I don't know that it's a state problem anymore. And I know what you mean by that, but look at the truckers. Look at the farmers that are going down there to those borders. Look at the convoys that are going down there. The people are standing up because they want their country to be safe. They don't want their child to pick up a piece of paper in a playground and die of fentanyl poisoning. You know, this is an absolute attack and invasion on our country. And we can prove that. Up to 100,000 people dead from fentanyl this year. I mean, when we were calculating who died from COVID that was on MSNBC every day until Biden took office, they showed it every day. 100,000 people have died just from fentanyl. That comes from China. They don't grow that in Mexico. This is a problem. And we have the Democrats and the liberal left that chooses to not pay attention to it. Well, sooner or later, it's going to get so egregious that the citizens are going to do what they need to do to keep their country safe. And that's what we see in Texas, and I think that's what you're seeing from the American citizens, and I applaud them, every one of them.
Yeah. Now, when I say this next thing, it's because, well, when I say it, I want to preface it with, we do it anyway, but do you feel like there might be some traps laid for a lot of people going down there? A lot of people want to go down there. And I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm just saying, are you suspect of some traps like J6?
I was at J6 myself, still being investigated by the FBI. I've never made it to the Capitol building. I was in BLM Square, but I know that feeling that was there. And in January 6th, and my friend Laura Logan's doing a hell of a job putting out everything she can.
Yeah, she's great.
To show really what it was.
Sure.
But what I found and what I see is, yes, you have to go into everything with your head on a swivel. We are in a sketchy world right now. And for those and anybody that's down there saying, wanting to go down there and peacefully protest and the way they're doing it, make sure you keep it that way. Let's learn from January 6th. And if there are bad actors, shut them down immediately.
Yeah.
Shut that down. Police yourself. Be cognizant of what's around you. Always have situational awareness, and you'll be fine. The people that are saying don't do it because of red flags and the CIA and EPS and all of those type of people, that just makes us placate to where we sit on our hands and we find ourselves in a position where we're too scared to accomplish anything.
Right.
And fear has kept a lot of people from greatness.
Right. And I would say to everybody, a hint of advice, if you're going to go somewhere, especially on this kind of turf, make sure, like you said, be aware, but make sure you don't bring your phone. Don't bring any identifying where they can net an area and pick up information, because they did that quite a bit. So,
and don't give them a reason, even though it's Texas.
Yeah,
think it through. Don't walk around with a 50 cal on your chest and kid it up.
Yeah,
just stay with your people, look after each other, put your head on a swivel, and go down there and let freedom ring.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt if you wore a "I love the UN" and China Rocks hat, like an I love the UN
that
T-shirt.
Will never be on my body, Kate. Never.
Oh, come on, the pictures.
And I wore the blue helmet for the record.
Okay, but
as a former veteran, I had a stint where I had to listen to the Frenchies tell me what to do, and I'm going to tell you right now, you will never see a UN shirt on me.
But wouldn't the
ever.
Pictures be hilarious for CNN? Everybody's loving the UN that's down there. Okay, I'm just saying, like, it's a plan. So. I think we have to be smarter, use that a little bit more. Okay, we're running out of time, but the website again?
Veteransfortrump.us.
Okay.
We're building one of the largest coalitions in the country. We have president chapters in every state. Please go to veteransfortrump.us and learn about us and sign up. We're trying to build Trump's 300 in every state, just like the movie.
All righty. Thank you so much, Chad Caton. Thank you. And, of course, we shall be right back. We will